to episode 18 of our third series on the surnames and early families of Appalachia and the good old American South. As any good social scientist should do, I'm digesting the feedback that I've received from you on the inclusion of DNA and extended family discussions, on the early families that is, and based on viewership numbers, it seems to me that I'm losing a lot of you before we get halfway through an episode. In the first two series, I just discussed the old surnames, discovered whether or not they were antebellum, and we talked about their meanings and went along with some trivial information. I covered a lot more names in each episode, which seemed to appeal to a larger audience. Since my goal is to deliver a program that you find appealing, I'm going to go back to the original format. Today's episode will be a little shorter than the last few. As always, my focus is on the historical geography of antebellum families. To date, we've covered about 1,000 surnames and have nearly 1,000 more to go. If you'd like a free copy of the list of names that we've covered thus far, hang around to the end to find out how you can get one. It's just an email away. I hope you'll join me. Number 1, Belchure. As you might recall, some linguists have jokingly said with some degree of seriousness that English, which is considered to be a Germanic language, should be classified as a branch of French. Why, might you ask? Well, it's because the Normans introduced 10,000 new French words into what we call English. That process was helped along by the French-speaking Norman military putting down roots in Great Britain. As part of the spoil system that historians call feudalism, lands and estates were granted to loyal officers. One of the officers was named Belchure. I wasn't able to find Belchure among the traditional surnames of Ireland or Scotland, but I did find some early arrivals in New England and in Nova Scotia. You might note that I found Belch, that's B-E-L-C-H, like Belch, in Wales and Scotland, but it's a separate family name. Without getting into syllables, suffice it to say that the name meant fair, lovely face. One of the earliest Belchure families that I found in the South was with the 1780 birth of Beverly Belchure, born around 1780, died in 1833. At the end of the day, I believe that this is an antebellum family of Norman, French, Anglo origin. Number 2, Joy. Just as with Belchure, Joy is most likely a name that arrived in Britain as a gift of the Normans. It was a personal name for a man or woman. It was often spelled J-O-E-I and was given to a person with a cheerful disposition. I found it among the traditional surnames of Ireland and Scotland as well as England, but MacLeisic says in Ireland it could be a form of the name Joyce. That's not surprising when you recall that simple names like Joy or even Van, my last name, often have multiple origins. The surname appears early in the colonial records of New England, but it also shows up in Maryland in the 17th century. Peter Joseph Joy was born in Kingston upon Thames, England in 1628. At some point, he married Martha Golson and lived most of his life in Calvert County, Maryland, where he died in 1686. While your line could trace back to Ireland or Scotland, this particular line is antebellum and it originated in jolly old England. Number 3, McElfresh. Okay, would you believe that this name was given to a fresh or flirtatious elf from the Western Isles of Scotland? Sure sounds like it, but it's not. In Scottish Gaelic, it's spelled like this. I don't want to pronounce that one. Anyway, it's translated it means servant of Saint Brissius. And I think that's probably maybe pronounced differently, but Brissius is the way I'm pronouncing it. To be honest, it looks more like a fresh elf to me, but perhaps I'm just a simpleton. There are a number of other folks named McElfresh I'll get it straight in a minute, in West Virginia, Kentucky, and Ohio. Here's a strong candidate for an ancestor to most of those lines. Joshua Joseph. No, I'll get it straight again. Joshua Theodore McElfresh. He was born in 1804, died in 1883. He was also born in Pennsylvania, but relocated to a part of West Virginia that would leave the state to form West Virginia in 1863. He married a Virginia-born lass named Eleanor Holt, born 1812, died in 1901. At the end of the day, I'm confident that this antebellum family is of Scottish descent. Number 4, Bostik, Bostok, or Bostwick. I have no idea why, but to me, Bostik always seemed to be an Eastern European family name. In doing my research, I didn't take long to realize that these are Old English surnames, but within England they have their own geography. It's an old habitational name. It was given to someone who lived at Bot's Place. In Yorkshire and Cumbria, which are located in the north part of England, it was spelled Bostik and Bostwick, but in southern England it was spelled Bostock or Bastok, B-A-S-T-O-C-K. You might note that Bostock and Bastok are the only forms of the surname that I found in Ireland. They predate the plantation era. I didn't find it among the traditional surnames of Scotland, even though it's a Yorkshire and Cumbrian family name. And those two places are right there on the Scottish border, or near the Scottish border. Looking on this side of the Atlantic, I did find early records of Bostik families living in Virginia, Georgia, Alabama, Louisiana, and Illinois. The earliest line of the family that I found in the South was started by Charles Bostik, born around 1620, died in 1700. He lived much of his life in St. Peter's Parish. I believe it's in New Kent County, Virginia. Anyway, Charles married a lady named Mary, don't know her last name, and they had at least 3 sons. At the end of the day, Bostik is an antebellum family of English origin, but Bostock and Bastok could be English or of Anglo-Irish derivation. Well, that's about all I have for you today, folks. I hope you got something meaningful out of the discussion, and will join me again here on the Vantage Point. I had cataract surgery yesterday, so I hope I didn't misspell many names, and if I did, please forgive me. If you'd like a free copy of the list of names and families that we've covered thus far, write to me at vantagepoint22@gmail.com and I'll send it to you ASAP. Until I see you again, may the good Lord bless and keep you. May He make His face shine on you and give you peace. Bye-bye.